Hello. Well, I am here to talk about the importance of a sacred union within the body and how it makes you more potent. It makes your vibrancy rise and it gives you your power back. I'm not talking about sacred union with another for the sake of being with another, although that is a beautiful thing. What I'm talking about is to do this energetically within. And by doing so, you raise your own vibration. Also, you relax your nervous system because you've got that part of you. So I'm going like this in my right side because in the ancient Indian texts, the ancient Tantra texts, they said that the right side of the body, except the actual brain, but we'll just say the right side of the body was the masculine. And often it was explained through the archetype of Shiva. So Shiva would hold with love no matter what, making it safe for the expression and for the emotions and for the energy, the Shakti, which is energy, to move through the body. And that was explained through the left side of the body. Now, and that was also reflected through the archetype of Parvati. But this is fascinating because it's the merging of the evolved parts of self. It's the amazing conscious parts. So the feminine part knows that there is a need to move the body, allow the body to move however it needs to release stresses and stresses and like just ickiness. Sometimes you feel heavy in the body and not open and flowing. And so that is a sign that we need to move, get in our bodies and actually move it. Because our body knows what it's got to do. Our poor brain is just overused. It's overstimulated. And the brain and the body obviously are linked. So if the brain's overused and overstimulated, what is the body going to be like? It's going to copy that. It's going to be like, okay, headaches, oh, body aches, oh. So this sort of breaks that conditioning. And it's an amazing practice, an amazing thing to do. So back to this mythology now of Parvati and Shiva. So Parvati is an archetype that is a very powerful, connected energy. She's whole. She doesn't need Shiva. He comes and they go together, right? They lift their vibration together. But she was doing the work on her own. So the mythology around that is a fascinating one because it turns out that Parvati was a reincarnation of Shiva's previous wife who had passed away. And he was devastated that he went, just meditated into the cosmos, just turned within and just, that's it. No one could get through. He wasn't interested in the physical world at all. And so Parvati was born and she always had shrines to him growing up. She was in love with him, knew she had to be with him, but he kept rejecting her when she went up to his little cave. And so she was left with the whole, okay, well, I'm here and I'm a reincarnation of a goddess. So she started doing the work on herself. She learned how to meditate without having to rely on Shiva's meditation to get her through. She went into that. And then she did her energetic practice, her more embodiment, the yoga moves and the ecstasy, the chanting, and like using her voice for singing and opening all the energetic parts, so, all the chakras. And she was opening and doing this work and devoting herself to those parts that she could not see, right? And so there are images of her standing in a yoga pose on one leg in the middle of a running stream, so she is stillness in the flow, and she's part of the flow as well of the feminine. She's the stillness of the masculine and the flow of the feminine, right? She's both, and she's merging the two within her. And when two opposites merge, there is a powerful exchange. There is more energy that's created through that. And so as she was practicing, and the two parts of her became one, became merged, the ultimate in Tantra became merged. Boom. She became that hot with energy. And it is said that she released the flames up through into the universe from her practice and from her devotion of knowing that there is so much more than the physical, right? There is so much more than devoting to just one person, even if he is a god. There is more. And that comes to inner truth and doing what she was called to do and trusting that path. Trust in the fact that her divinity said, go stand in the middle of this stream here on one leg, without going, are you kidding me? People are going to think I'm crazy. She did that. So it's just really interesting that when she started to really set her life on fire, her soul was alive and all parts of her body was infused with that soul, right? Boom, another sacred union. The physical realm and the soul finally embeds, because a lot of us are walking around and not quite connected, not quite grounded. That's hard. We need tools in place to be able to make it safe for us to be able to do that on a regular basis. This is what she was able to do. Bang, she's so present, but yet so open to the energy and the truth and following that at any given moment, trusting beyond any shadow of doubt or fear. No fear existed in her. She was just on fire with love, with passion, with devotion, with clarity, and in a really grounded way. And it was that practice of devotion, of self, that brought Shiva awake and to the present moment that he finally was able to see her and see himself in her. And she saw herself in him because she was whole. She came from that place of doing the work on herself. Sacred union, those parts that reflect, those parts that study, those parts that witness with love everything that's happening and doesn't move in beautiful stillness, right? And then those other parts that are crazy and owning and accepting the human parts, but also the parts of allowing the energy to run through, trusting in the intuition that says, go stand in the middle of that creek, with one foot and feel it, or whatever that message is, wherever you like, it's trusting that. That's the feminine, and opening the body, being here, being so present, being in bliss, being in rage, being in joy, being in your sacred sexuality and open. That is also the feminine. And the part of you that's the masculine, that's witnessing and holding and accepting everything, says, go for it. Be yourself. Be who you are and who you were born to be in this world. That's why this is so sacred. And it does raise your vibration. That's what that myth is telling you. And so you can see images of Shiva, and Parvati, and they're joined, right? But both have done that work. Both are whole within themselves. And then when they join, it's amazing. So that is like key to how to live in a more open and more authentic way, because everyone's got their own unique masculine traits and feminine traits, of their own opposite energies occurring. And it doesn't have to be, oh, this is separate and I have to be this way. And it's like a becoming whole, becoming one. And everyday existence requires us to use both the strategic and the holding space part and the I've got you and safety and security part for self, right? Because we're not always going to have someone next to us. Not always going to have mum or hubby or, sister next to us all the time. Sometimes we're going to have to fall back on ourselves and go, okay, I got this. And we're right. And then it could be like now we're right, we're safe. So what's our intuition telling us to do now? Ooh, let's make this more fun. Ooh, let's just open this up a bit more. Oh, let's go over there. That's a nice tree. Oh, all of a sudden, we start going into the invisible world, the intuition, I'm not sure why I'm drawn to going over here, but I am. And that's where life becomes more interesting. And all the time you've got that other part of you going, I've got you. You're good. And you can check in. You'll be like, oh, yep, okay. And then sometimes when you're in a very safe space, like a very safe container being facilitated by someone, you can just open completely into that intuition, completely into that divine feminine wisdom and go for it without having to keep checking in your masculine. But it's important to keep practicing that divination of your masculine so that it doesn't become the boss of the feminine. It becomes a servant. How can I serve? Right, so your right side. For me, my right is very masculine. My left is just the way I'm designed. That's why I'm drawn to these ancient practices, right? My left is very feminine and open and gets goosebumps very easily. And my right stays nice and still. And the two merge in the center. So it's a balance. It's so important to have both in the world, because that way we feel safe to be who we are. We feel safe to be in our unique intuition. And we feel safe to actually, evolve. To actually embody more of our light. Because there's this quote from Marianne Williamson that says something along the lines of, we're not afraid of our darkness, we're actually afraid of our light. The tall poppy syndrome can go F itself, because we're needed to be firing on all cylinders. We need to connect, embody, be so present, feel everything that's happening in this world, and do the practices to support ourselves. Letting our masculine say, how can I serve you today? So that you can follow that intuition and go, this is what I need to do. I need to sit in front of my computer and make this video. I need to walk over there. I don't know why, but I'm going to trust that. I've got you. Okay, cool. I'm going to go call this person and trust that I'm meant to talk to them. I've got you. Cool. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to open and just let the magic happen. Let life flow. in love. Okay, so that's just a little bit that I wanted to talk about, and I felt that pull to talk about it. So I need to obviously practice what I preach. I really hope that sort of makes it more practical, and a way to directly apply this as well, because it's not just a woo-woo thing that we can occasionally do. It's something that we can do every day, every moment that we live. It's amazing. Sending love to you, and I'll be back soon, probably in my lounge room again, because there's more space in dining room. Apologies for the family fridge, and the notice board there, and the lounge room. I'll get around to it. This was just pulling me, and so I needed to come here and share it. All right, I'm sending love. Mwah. See you next time.